Hey fellow Americans, Jane Smith Fisher reporting. I'm so happy to have you join me once again. Today's topic is a favorite of mine, unions. Truly, I've been thinking about unions since the 7th grade when I first heard of Samuel Gompers. And as point of full disclosure, I am currently a union member. However, for 2/3 of my working years, I was not a member of a union. So I have seen and well understand both sides of this fence. I first wrote about unions around a year and a half ago. When I was not part of a union, I worked for a national retailer. Here's the story that inspired me to write. I was standing with a coworker in our department, and he started to tell me about the great benefits that his wife received. She worked in a public school. He spoke of fabled things like pensions, dedicated sick days, and that quaint term, personal days. And of course, she had terrific health benefits. What struck me about our conversation was that my coworker seemed annoyed at his wife because of those benefits. So I asked him, don't you think she deserves those benefits? And more to the point, don't we deserve the same kind of great benefits that we didn't have in our non-union job? And he did agree that everyone, should have excellent benefits. And then after I held him hostage for a very short time, just gave him a short tutorial on the subject, he realized that his anger should have been toward our employer and not his wife. And what I wonder when people are upset about these union benefits is if they think that their life would somehow be better if the union members didn't have those benefits. Let's take a look at Wisconsin as an example. In 2011, most public sector employees in Wisconsin lost their right to collective bargaining. Collective bargaining is when the union negotiates for everyone as opposed to each worker negotiating for himself. Now, how did that decision affect non-union workers? Did their salaries increase? Nope. According to the Census Bureau's American Community Survey, in 2014 in Wisconsin, the median household income was actually lower than the U.S. median household income. And though all incomes are rising in the U.S., the incomes of the median household in Wisconsin is rising more slowly than that of the average in the U.S. How about for benefits? Did those costs decrease? No again. It is true that because of this decision, union workers in Wisconsin are paying more for their benefits, but so are non-union workers. Here's why. There are two reasons that companies give increases in wages and benefits. One is if there's a labor shortage and they have to compete for workers. The second reason involves exactly what a union accomplishes. The union gives leverage to the workers. And once they've negotiated, and now that company is offering more to workers, other companies have to follow suit if they want to attract good workers. It's no coincidence that wages and benefits have deteriorated in this country as union membership has greatly diminished. At this point, only about 1 in 10 workers in the U.S. are members of unions. And some politicians have managed to convince voters that the problem is the union and that all workers would be better off without them, which is why 26 states have enacted right-to-work laws that allow workers to enjoy the benefits of a union without joining. And the end result is that less workers join, the union suffers. And then those same workers that didn't pay dues end up losing their wage and benefit gains. And on that note, I like to say this. I have found that the perception of unions in this country and unions that really help workers, the perception is very bad among the workers and pretty much everybody in this country. Whenever I ask people how they feel about unions, the answer is always the same. Union workers are lazy because they don't have to worry about losing their jobs. Well, First of all, as opposed to 90% of the workers in this country, I have been in a couple of unionized jobs, and I found no difference in the quality of workers between union and non-union. And personally, I don't believe anyone should be able to keep their job if they don't give 100% effort. But more than that, job protection is not what unions are about. And you know who knows that? Wisconsin's Governor Scott Walker and all the governors that support right-to-work laws. Think about it. If Governor Walker thought that he could crush the union by taking away these job protections, he would have done that. But he knew that union workers are dedicated employees, and that wouldn't have been a problem for them. What he did is he took away the main component, collective bargaining. Okay, so now where do the candidates stand on the issue of unions? I'm going to put on my glasses and read a little from what I've learned. Now, Hillary Clinton's a big supporter of labor rights, and her website states that Hillary will fight to strengthen the labor movement and to protect worker bargaining power. Many of the big labor unions, such as the AFL-CIO and the National Education Association, have endorsed her. Now, it was harder to find information about where Donald Trump stands on unions. His website doesn't state anything, and I couldn't find anything definitive on how he feels about workers' rights. He did, however, just receive an endorsement from the Federal Order of Police, which is the nation's largest law and order group. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching. I really hope you learned something, and I'll see you next time.